What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr War Games, and today I am bringing you an updated Elemental Hero profile. So this was a request from Maslacia on YouTube, and it was also a massive shout out goes to Kyron. So Kyron has been playing this deck non-stop recently, and this is one of his most recent versions. So I thought I'd take you through the profile, show you what we've got, and then any questions, by all means, put them in the comments down below, and Kyron or myself will be more than happy to answer them for you. So with all that out of the way, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So for the Elemental Heroes, it's pretty straightforward on this one. We are running triple Stratos alongside double Shadow Mist, a single Liquid, and a single Honest Neos. Obviously, all of these have their main purposes on the deck. There's a reason that the phrase was coined. It's basically this deck's version of a Stratos in the form of playing 3 of this, as Stratos is the card that pretty much searches everything out, quite like Satellarknight Deneb. So it gets you into all of your heroes, and it can also help you deal with back row should you need to. Onto the Vision Heroes, we are playing triple Faris alongside double Increase. God, this card's annoying. And double Vion. Now, in an ideal world, you would actually be able to play 1-on-1. But, unfortunately, there are times when you'll open up an Increase and this combo will be slightly worsened. We would open up a Vion and again, it becomes slightly worsened if you were only playing 1s. So you do need to play the 2 additional Garnets in the deck in order to kind of trigger the full combo play. But it is just that important. The fact that Faris brings you into Vion, Vion gets you your Mali to the graveyard, and then Increase summons, well, technically Increase summons, and then Vion, and then everything else from that point on. Speaking of Destiny Heroes, we are playing 2 Mali, 1 Denier, and of course the 1 Plasma. Now that is it for all of the heroes in the main deck. As you can see, they're all pretty much tailored to do everything you need to. You need the right balance of Destiny heroes in order to summon them off of Fusion Destiny, but then you also need the abilities of being able to loop your Mali, loop your Denier, and of course Plasma just being a fat stacked rock monster, well, not rock monster, it's technically a warrior monster, but a rock in the form that it just stands there negating all of your opponent's stuff, stealing your opponent's stuff, you name it. You can even make it into a towers if you were to play D-Force and everything else as well. So that's it for the monster lineup, pretty standard for the heroes themselves. Moving on to the hand traps. So for the hand traps, we are rocking triple Ash Blossom, double Ghost Bell or Droll or whatever the environment calls for, and then double Imperm. So all, again, pretty straightforward on this one. You've got a nice little 7-card hand trap space there. You can adapt it. You can push the deck to 42 if you really, really want to. But this kind of balance works out quite nicely. And these are the main hand traps of the game. Moving on to the spells, of course, triple Hero Lives. This is your easy early doors route. Yes, it does cost you half your life points, but it's your early doors route into a Shadow Mist with the effect of searching out a Mask Change, or a Stratos for free to get everything going. Obviously, one big issue of this format is dealing with draw a lot better in a deck like this specifically, especially when you activate Hero Lives, summon out, and then get hit with draw off the back of the Shadow Mist, the Stratos Search, or even Shadow Mist Search. It can make your plays a little bit harder to deal with, but then that's where he's also playing Triple Tactic Thrust. We've then got the 1 Poly, the 1 Talents, the 1 Rotor, now Kuna Mind, and Miracle Fusion, as these are all normal spells. Alongside Triple Fusion Destiny, they can all be set/searched off of Thrust. Now, I did have a conversation with Kyron. I was like, what else could you do? Like, could you think about sneaking a cheeky little one of normal trap card? Because there's fewer Bestials running around. Yes, they are still there, but if you're not in that right matchup, you're not going to get Bestialed. And Nibiru is probably the only card that gets hit on you where you can go, okay, cool, activate Thrust, search out Fusion Destiny if you haven't already used it. So it can get a little bit tricky. I did suggest a card like Battle of the Elements, and he also suggested Mischief of the Gnomes. The reason that we consider something like, or I considered Battles of the Elements and he considered Mischief of the Gnomes, is it allowed you to kind of, more so this over Mischief of the Gnomes, but this one will allow you to shrink your opponent's board, but you have to activate it at the right time. It's such an old card as well that your opponent may, like, they won't know exactly what it does. They will know that you've got it, and when you're able to set it off of Thrust directly, rather than Imperm at the moment as being your only target that gets you the most value, setting Battle of the Elements, especially if you've already locked yourself into Darks, or let's say they have Nibiru'd you, then Thrust can then get you into something else, or if you've already gone for your Fusion, you can go into this. The idea is by flipping this, It means that if your opponent is spamming cash monsters, which are earths, fires, winds, or if they're spamming virtual vanquish soul monsters, if they're spamming sprite monsters, you can flip Battle of the Elements and it reduces their entire board to a single attribute at that exact time. So it's kind of like a way of getting a searchable floodgate. Another option is you could be very, very cheeky and main deck a single Det Devi card, whether it be Eradicator, whether it be Det Devi. But the issue is, again, if they clear your board off or you don't leave your board with the right monster, then they're not going to be able to, like, it's not going to be that big of an issue for them. The final card that isn't searchable off of Frost, of course, is triple Mask Change, but it is searchable off of Shadow Mist. Moving on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we are playing double DPE and double Darklaw. These are your most important cards. Now, I would feel that right now you could arguably cut these down, but the issue is if you're up against Cash, for example, and you activate Bell and they've got Unicorn on the board, or you activate Ash and they've got Unicorn on the board, they're going to be going for your DPE first, which is why you've got to double up in order to kind of make sure that if one goes, you still have the ability to do it. Plus, there are chances of actually making a second DP in the deck because Fusion Destiny will get you one, and then you can hard poly into the other. We've then got the one Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, followed by Elemental Hero Sunrise, Destiny Hero Dystopia, Elemental Hero Escario. I get this wrong all the time. Then, of course, you've got your Trinity, you've got your Absolute Zero, you've got your Hero Blast, which is basically just Mask Change on Stratos to dodge in order to get your search out. And then for the links, you've got the one Decimator, the one Wonder Driver, and the two Cross Crusaders. Extra deck is pretty standard. I don't feel that there's anything we're getting in the immediate future that would massively change this. I feel that the Wake Up Your Hero is just a very aggressive push of a monster, and I don't feel that the new Neos is definitely, like, that's not going in here because it's more Neos focused than anything else. The deck is incredibly powerful, it's very, very fun. The issue is it has a massive target on its back when it does come to a card like Nibiru. So if you don't respect Nibiru, or if your opponent opens it up or main decks it or anything like that, it can smack you directly in the face. And when they do something like that on this deck, unless you've been able to get to DPE, unless you've been able to get to the Frost, it can be a little bit taxing to kind of build your board back from that or maintain it during their turn. So when they only need one card to go, okay, drop this, GG, game over, pass, it can become, you know, very, very difficult. Nonetheless, it's always a deck worth picking up. If you ever see a deck like this hit a very cheap point, it's definitely worth doing because anime decks will always get future support. I cannot imagine until the day like Yu-Gi-Oh stops being a card game, which I can't see happening, they will always print anime favourite support. So you'll always get Hero support, Blue Eye support, Dark Magician support. They may be a few years apart, but nonetheless, it will be coming. So if you pick this deck up cheap and they do eventually get a negate that can help them play around the Nibiru, happy blooming days. But a short, sweet, simple profile to give you the full breakdown of everything you need in regards to a hero list. If you do have any questions at all, like I said before, by all means, please put them in the comments down below. Myself or Kyron will be more than happy to answer them for you. But for now, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.